There is a truth about human connection that only life can teach, something that no relationship manual or advice from the young can properly explain. Have you ever stopped to wonder why certain people, even after 60, 70 years, maintain that sparkle in their eyes? That special way of touching, of conversing, of being with someone that goes far beyond the physical. There's a hidden secret here. It's not about marriage. It's not about how many years you've been with someone. It's about that rare quality of intimacy that some people cultivate, and that makes all the difference in how they live their relationships, whether new or old. Because after a certain age, we learn that true intimacy has little to do with physical vigor and much to do with emotional depth. Here's what no one says. Most people go through life having intimate encounters without ever truly connecting. They worry about performance, about appearances, about expectations, and miss what's essential. But you, who've lived enough, know that what really matters is something completely different. What I'll share today are 7 truths about mature intimacy, the kind that only those who've accumulated decades of experience can truly understand. These are signs that show when 2 bodies are merely meeting, and when 2 souls are truly touching. Because after 50, 60, 70 years, we discover that intimacy isn't measured by the strength of desire, but by the quality of connection. And it's this connection that transforms physical moments into memories that warm the soul on cold days. So if you want to understand why some relationships age gracefully while others grow cold, if you want to discover how to keep that special flame alive, or simply comprehend what separates an ordinary encounter from a true connection, stay with me. Because the first sign, and perhaps the most revealing, is when years pass, the body changes its rhythm, and the wise learn to dance to this new melody. Have you noticed how a lingering touch on the nape can say more than 1,000 words of love? Or how an embrace that's in no hurry to end carries within it stories never told? This is the first truth about mature intimacy. It doesn't race against the clock. While the young worry about getting there, experienced people like you know the real pleasure lies in every step of the journey. It's not about how many minutes an encounter lasts, but about how much life fits into each moment. Remember that delicious feeling of anticipation you had at 20? Well, it can be even sweeter at 60, when transformed into conscious patience, into full attention to the other. The secret lies in the pauses between gestures, in shared sighs, in how hands meet without rush. A real man, one who's understood the essence of intimacy, doesn't watch the clock. He looks into your eyes, feels your breath, adjusts his rhythm to yours. And when this happens, something magical is revealed. Time stops being an enemy and becomes an ally. Every wrinkle, every scar, every mark of the years gains new meaning, not as signs of what is past, but as maps of stories that can now be revisited with new understanding. This is why, for those who can read these signs, intimacy after 50 doesn't diminish. It deepens. It doesn't fade. It transforms. And the first sign that you've found someone who truly understands this, it's when you realize you're writing a new language together, where silences speak louder than words, and every touch carries the light weight of a complicity that only time can give. Hands that have worked a lifetime develop a unique wisdom, and it's through them that the truest love expresses itself. Have you ever felt that difference between an eager touch and one that seems to know your skin better than you do? While the young get lost in techniques and performances, those who've lived enough discover that hands speak their own language when guided by the heart. It's not about strength or dexterity. It's about memory. Memory of how you like to be touched, where you hold your tensions, which corners of your body yearn for unhurried tenderness. A partner who makes love with their soul doesn't ask, "What do you want?" They're already reading the answer in the subtle contractions of your muscles, the goosebumps tracing your skin, the way your body responds before your mind even formulates the desire. These experienced hands don't follow scripts, and they listen. And in this deep listening lies one of maturity's greatest pleasures, being understood without explanation. When a man truly surrenders to this silent language, something extraordinary happens. Every gesture becomes an intimate conversation, every caress a confession, every massage a coded love declaration. And the most beautiful part? This language isn't learned from books or movies. It's earned through years of genuine attention. That's why, after a certain age, a simple handshake can reveal more about a connection than hours of conversation. Hands that know how to love tell stories the mouth never learned to express, stories of patience, observation, silent devotion. And when you find someone who speaks this tongue, you discover that the body, far from being an obstacle, becomes the soul's finest interpreter. In a culture obsessed with youth, few understand the transformative power of a gaze that truly sees, not the mirror's reflection, but the story behind it. Have you ever felt truly seen by someone, not despite your wrinkles, but because of everything they represent? This is the third sign of true intimacy. When your partner's eyes recognize in you not an aging body, but a life that has deepened. While the young seek perfection in angles and curves, mature people like you have discovered the unique beauty only time can sculpt. The kind that resides in how your eyes still sparkle when speaking of what you love, in the softness your gestures have acquired after decades of practice, in the confidence that replaced youthful insecurity. A man who makes love with his heart doesn't close his eyes, he opens them wider. He doesn't look for what you were, but celebrates what you've become. And in this gaze that embraces your entire history, something miraculous happens. You feel more beautiful at 70 than you ever did at 20. Because now, finally, you're being seen, not as an object, but as a living narrative. This is the magic few young people comprehend. After a certain age, attraction doesn't come from the absence of time's marks, but from the richness of meaning each one carries. When two pairs of mature eyes meet at this level of understanding, intimacy becomes far more than physical. It transforms into a mutual recognition ceremony, where every detail, every imperfection, every sign of lived experience is revered as part of what makes this moment, this connection, this story, only you two can tell together. There's music only heard when we stop trying to fill every space with words, and this silent symphony is the fourth sign of true intimacy. Have you noticed how, after a certain age, the best moments are often those where nobody says anything? While the young strive to maintain conversations during intimacy, those who've lived enough have discovered that silence, when shared with the right person, can be more eloquent than any speech. It's not about lacking topics. It's about comfort, so profound words become unnecessary. A partner truly connected to you doesn't fear these pauses. They embrace them. They know the sound of your breathing, the rhythm of your pulse, the warmth of your body against theirs already says all that needs saying. This wordless language is maturity's privilege. After all, how many decades does it take for two bodies to learn to communicate without intermediaries? When you find someone who understands this silent dialect, intimacy gains new dimensions. Every sigh becomes a confession. Every exchanged glance in the dark carries volumes of meaning. Every unconscious gesture becomes an instantly decoded message. And the most beautiful part? This connection changes everything. From how you touch to how you lie together afterward. In perfect quietness, savoring the rare peace of being with someone who demands no performance, just presence. After 50, 60, 70 years, you deserve this. The freedom to be yourself without explanations. To share moments needing no soundtrack or script, where the simple act of existing together becomes the purest expression of love two mature bodies can offer each other. True intimacy begins where masks fall off, and this shared vulnerability is the fifth sign of deep connection. Have you ever allowed yourself to be fragile with someone, without fear of judgment? While youth often views sex as a demonstration of strength, maturity brings the wisdom that our greatest transformative potential lies precisely in our fragilities. Joint pains requiring different rhythms, necessary breaks that become moments of tenderness, physical limitations inspiring creativity, all these, far from being obstacles, can become bridges to more authentic intimacy. A partner who truly values you doesn't see these adaptations as flaws, but as opportunities to love you more completely. They expect no perfection. They celebrate your body's reality, with all its history and uniqueness. And in this mutual acceptance, something revolutionary happens. you discover intimacy isn't about hiding weaknesses, but transforming them into a new language of affection. This is one of mature relationships' greatest gifts, the chance to free yourself from performance tyranny and rediscover pleasure in true touch's simplicity, in defenseless gazes, in embraces that welcome without demands. When two experienced bodies meet at this level of honesty, every physical limitation becomes a chance to innovate, every rhythm difference an opportunity to explore new pleasure paths, every necessary adaptation transforms into love's most eloquent proof. Because after a certain age, you already know, what makes a moment truly special isn't what happens, but with whom and how you share your barest truth. Maturity brings a paradoxical gift. The more we think we know, the more we discover there is to learn. And this continuous curiosity is the sixth sign of true intimacy. Have you ever surprised yourself by discovering something new about your own body after 50? While the young follow prefabricated pleasure manuals, experienced people like you have the advantage of knowing each body is a unique universe, constantly evolving, and exploring this territory with an open mind can be more exciting than any predetermined script. A partner who truly cares doesn't assume they know everything about you. They maintain a perpetual learner's humility, asking, observing, discovering together how your body and desires transform over time. This willingness to relearn together creates a living intimacy that breathes and adapts, far from outdated expectations' rigidity. And when two mature bodies embark on this mutual rediscovery journey, something magical happens. Every encounter becomes a first time, full of potential and delicate surprises. It's not about repeating what always worked in the past. It's about having the courage to ask, what if we tried it this way today? About celebrating changes rather than lamenting them. About transforming every new limitation into a creativity invitation. This is one of mature intimacy's greatest advantages. The freedom to write your own rules, based on the here and now's reality, not on youthful ideals that no longer serve. When you find someone willing for this continuous learning adventure, you discover that pleasure, far from diminishing with age, becomes more sophisticated, like fine wine gaining complexity over years, revealing nuances young palates can't even dream exist. When all is said and done, what remains aren't peak moments, but the accumulated memory of tenderness, and this legacy awareness is the seventh and deepest sign of true intimacy. Have you ever thought about how much history your hands carry? While the young pursue fleeting pleasures, those who've lived enough understand that every gentle touch, every lingering embrace, every shared night of warmth weaves an invisible tapestry that becomes your most valuable emotional heritage. A partner who truly sees you as a whole being doesn't just love your present body. They honor all versions of you that led here and help write chapters yet to come. This expanded perspective transforms every affectionate gesture into a future investment, into a silent promise that, no matter what years may bring, you'll keep finding ways to connect and delight in each other. And when two mature bodies meet at this consciousness level, intimacy transcends the physical. It becomes a shared life celebration ritual, tangible expression of all that was and still can be. This is time's supreme gift. Understanding that true pleasure lies not in a moment's isolated intensity, but in the meaning depth we assign it. When you find someone sharing this vision, you discover that growing old together isn't about losing capacities. It's about gaining new love languages, subtler yet richer than any youthful passion. And in the end, when looking back, it will be these moments of true connection, simple, authentic, meaningful, that shine brightest in your memory, proving every journey moment was worth it. If this content touched your heart and made you reflect on mature intimacy's beauty, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more reflections like this. Every like encourages us to bring more themes valuing the wisdom of years, and every subscription helps build a community celebrating love in all its phases. Also, share in comments. Which of these signs resonated most with your experience? Your story might inspire others rediscovering the pleasure of deep connection. Together, let's show that love's best often comes with time, and that intimacy, when lived with soul, only gets better with age.